What is going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be doing an overall market update as well as a trading update for me. What stocks did I buy today? What stocks did I sell? As well as a couple of other stocks and ETFs that I'm watching for the rest of this week and heading into the beginning of December of 2018. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Stas and I make videos dealing with swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, and my personal philosophies and strategies when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market. So for those of you guys that want to learn more about that, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram as well as on Twitter, and join our Discord group chat as well as our Facebook group. All of those are linked down below in the description box. And if you guys want to be in contact with me and almost 300 other investors and traders throughout the entire trading day, throughout the entire week, join that Discord group chat, guys. We're talking about stocks, trading, investing, networking with each other and helping each other become the best traders, investors that we possibly can become. So again, all of those are linked down below in the description box if you guys want to be in contact with me and the rest of our team on all of the different platforms. So let's quickly just cover what happened today in the overall stock market, starting off with the Dow Jones, then the S&P 500, then the NASDAQ. So on a technical perspective right now, guys, we are trending above the 50-day simple moving average here on the 180-day 4-hour chart in terms of the Dow Jones. And in the past couple of videos, we've been talking about how the Dow Jones successfully bounced and successfully held above this support level at about $24,500. We saw the big push yesterday of about 600 points in the Dow Jones, and today, guys, there's still about 30 minutes left in the market, but it's looking like, the overall markets are going to end up closing the day pretty flat. We see the Dow is only up about 44 points right now, only up about 0.2%. We'll get into the NASDAQ and the S&P, but both of those, they're not really up an impressive amount of, points today, right? We had a huge day yesterday, and today I was kind of expecting a slower day or even potentially a red day. So the fact that we're flat, we're not really up much on the indexes, it's not really surprising to me. So in terms of these technicals, guys, we're holding above the support. Like I said, we're trading above the 50-day simple moving average now. And, the next spot for us to want to break above is at least above this 180-day simple moving average. Because if we're able to break out of here, guys, which is the next resistance point for the Dow Jones, this is going to show, a good sign that we're pushing up potentially to recover closer to those September highs or, early October highs that we saw. But then again, guys, even if we do break above this 180 SMA, we're still going to have to face this next resistance here at about $26,200. And in my personal opinion, guys, there's still a bunch of uncertainty out there in the market. We're still waiting for a decision on whether or not Trump and China's president are going to come to a trading deal. We have the Feds talking about the rate hike potentially in the middle of December. They're coming with, to a solution to that. So in my personal opinion, are we going to continue to rally and continue to push up? I really don't believe so. I think we're going to end up pulling back. How far are we going to pull back? When are we going to pull back? Obviously, I don't know that. Nobody else knows that. But with all of these questions, with all of these doubts still in the public's view and all the news that we're watching on a day-to-day basis, I think it's going to be scaring investors. Obviously traders are still going to be making money, but in terms of investors that are going to be buying and holding, I think it's a very iffy time period right now. So in my personal opinion, I do think we're going to end up pulling back and, potentially sell off down here. But, I'm going to be waiting for the confirming factor, which is going to be whether or not we're going to break above here or are we going to get rejected by this 180 simple moving average. So what to keep an eye on, guys, heading into December, just keep an eye on this channel that we drew out here, this horizontal channel that's slowly starting to form with the Dow Jones. Are we going to continue to trade in here? Are we going to get rejected, start to push down, and maybe get out of this support level here, which would mean we're making lower lows, we're downtrending, which is obviously not going to be good for the overall markets? Or are we going to be popping up, testing these early October highs that we saw in the Dow Jones? So that's what we're looking at in terms of the Dow Jones today, guys. Let's take a look at what the S&P 500 is doing. So very similar to the Dow Jones, we've been talking about this in every single video. The S&P bounced on the 2630 support level a couple of days ago, had a very nice day yesterday. I believe it was up about 2.5%. I don't remember the dollar amount that it was up yesterday, but it was very, very solid, strong day in the S&P 500. And just like the Dow Jones, we're trading above the 50-day simple moving average on this 180-day 4-hour chart. So what to keep an eye on, guys, is to see whether or not this is forming a horizontal pattern here, because we notice it topped off at 28.20, had difficulty getting above it there once, here again twice. We bounced here at 26.30, confirming the support, and then we confirmed it yet again about a couple of days back when we held above this support level as well. And, what this could mean, guys, is that, like I said in last week's video, we could be forming a channel here of horizontal pattern, right, before we either push up in price, break out of that channel for the bull run, or, get rejected up here, push down, make a lower low, and then continue this correction that we've been in over the past couple of weeks. So I always talk about on this channel a bunch of, all the time pretty much, about these indexes and the importance of watching these indexes before determining what you're going to trade. Because, if we're watching the indexes, guys, and they're having a solid day like they did yesterday, well, that's going to in turn allow you to trade large cap stocks, even these tech stocks that we talk about here. I know my face is right down here and you can't see it, but here is my tech stock watch list. Yesterday, if you guys have been paying attention to the markets, very green day. What happened to the tech stocks? They had a very strong day. And, a bunch of these other market ETFs that we talk about had a very strong day yesterday as well, all based off of the market going up in price. So again, if the market goes down in price, you can trade the opposites, guys. You can trade these inverse ETFs that go up when the markets go down. You can short stocks, you can play options. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. So that is why we really just keep an eye and pay attention to the overall markets when we are doing our technical analysis and picking out what stocks we want to trade for the week, for the month, for the day, whatever time periods you're looking to trade stocks. If you're looking to hold them for a couple of weeks, day trade them, whatever your time period is. It's very important to do research on the different indexes in the stock market. So now that we talked about that, let's just quickly look at the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ's at a very interesting level right now. It's not up much at all, trading flat on the day pretty much, only up about $5. But we're right by that 180-day simple moving average resistance. That's been a pretty strong resistance over the past couple of months. We notice here got rejected, here, and now we're right by it here. And what else do we notice is that the relative strength index, the RSI level, is showing that we're overbought. We're at the 75 level here, and for those of you guys that don't know, whenever the RSI is above 70, getting near 70, or around the 60 to 70 range, that's really indicating that the ETF, the stock, the index, whatever we're watching is on the overbought side, right? But whenever it's down here by the 30 range, that means it's oversold. You notice that here, whenever it's at a lower low point, what do we notice in the RSI? We notice that it's on that oversold side at around 30 or 35, 40, you guys get the picture, right? So now that we're up here, we could potentially see a break of pattern, which would be a very good sign that the NASDAQ is reversing. But in my personal opinion, guys, I think, and the technicals and the indicators are pointing to this, that we're going to get rejected here, possibly tomorrow or heading into December. But again, guys, if we don't get rejected here, we push up, we break out of this pattern, that is a break of pattern, and that could be a very good sign for the NASDAQ as an index to be pushing out of this resistance point and, pushing up to a new high, even potentially testing these next, resistances or even the high that we saw back early October. So that's what pretty much the overall markets are looking like as of right now, with about 20 minutes left in the market. And now to just talk about two trades that I made today, one winning trade and one losing trade. The winning trade, let's start off with that one, was in TVIX. And this is an ETF that we trade a bunch in our community, a bunch in our group, that goes up in price when the overall markets are selling off. So if you guys have been paying attention to the markets today, we did experience a sell-off early on in the day. And let's take a look at that very quickly. So we notice how we sold off in the Dow Jones from about 25,350 down to about 25,200. So that was about a 150-point sell-off early on in the day. The S&P 500 saw a similar sell-off, down here. It lost about $10, $15 on the index, and then the NASDAQ on the 1 day, 1 minute, it sold off early on in the day from about 6,900 down to about 6,845. So during this sell-off period, in terms of these three main indexes, I was able to trade TVIX, and I made a solid 5% on this trade. We noticed the technicals on this one were looking fantastic, guys. Heading into the market, we opened up, we popped up above the 50 EMA, or the SMA rather, the EMA. We broke above the 180 SMA, and we had a ridiculous bull run all the way up to about $45. So pretty much I was able to catch it at about $42.30, added more on the pullback at about $42.50, average cost at around $42.40, and then I was able to just ride it up for that quick little, not really quick, but a solid 5%, up to about $44.50-ish is where I took my profits. And then, we bull ran all the way up to about 45, ended up, selling off from there for the rest of the day. So in terms of that trade, very quick, very solid 5% on TVIX throughout that little market sell-off that we had about, 30 minutes to an hour and a half into the market this morning. So my losing trade was in LABD. I sold off, we saw LABD sold off here. I did not want to get into here quite yet because I wanted to see a reversal in the pattern. And then once we saw this reversal up here, we pulled back, bounced on the 180 SMA, started to pop up here. I ended up entering a position at about $34.50, roughly when we broke out of this resistance point. Honestly, guys, I wrote it up to here, did not take my profits there because, again, this was showing a nice little reversal pattern from the trading day yesterday, because we noticed, let me just break it down really quickly for you guys. We noticed that yesterday's trading session, we were pretty much downtrending all day, getting rejected by the 50 SMA, 180 SMA, the EMA line, and then once we did break out of that rejection zone from yesterday, I thought that this one was going to reverse to the upwards today. I thought it was going to have a very strong day from that 11% sell-off that we saw yesterday, and pretty much, guys, I was wrong, right? We got in, like I said, I got in around here, 34.50, did not take my profits, and it ended up hitting my 2% stop loss, wherever that might be, right? So I ended up losing 2% on LABD, did not re-enter into this trade. So net on the day today, guys, I made 5% TVIX, 2% loss on LABD, leaving me at a 3% gain for the day. A little bit short from my daily goal, but not complaining, because like I always say, guys, profit is profit, and I'm happy with no matter what percentage profit I get in a day, as long as I'm consistently green, consistently profitable, at least 3 to 4 days out of the week. That is the entire goal, while minimizing losses so I can be profitable week in and week out. So in terms of my trading, guys, that is all that I did today. TVIX and LABD, pretty quick day for me. I was done within about an hour and a half to 2 hours into the market today. And that is how it goes sometimes, guys. For those of you that trade, some days, you're trading in the morning for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Some days you're trading in the afternoon. There's some good movements after lunch. It all depends on what happens, guys. And me personally, I'm on my computer for the first 2-3 hours, and then, sometimes I take a break for the next couple of hours and hop back on the computer in the afternoon to see if there's any afternoon trades. Some days I'm not trading. It just varies day to today, and pretty much how the markets are overall looking is what dictates what I do in terms of my trading. So to take a look at a couple of stocks that I'm watching heading into the month of December in 2018, let's first start out by talking about HSY, and this is one that I talked about in yesterday's video. It was actually a call out in my Discord group chat and our Discord group chat community, and this one's looking very good on a technical perspective and in terms of technical analysis here. So we were talking about this one in yesterday's video, like I said, and it's actually playing out very nicely today, and it has a couple of more steps that I want to see it take before I potentially take a position in Hershey and ticker symbol HSY. So in yesterday's video, I was talking about how I wanted to see this one break out of the 50 SMA, pull back a little bit, and then hold above it as a new support level. So as we can see from this chart right now, guys, we're noticing a red candlestick start to form under this 50 SMA. So what this could indicate to us is that this one's slowly getting rejected by this, simple moving average, and it's having difficulty getting past it. So what we want to see is for it to exactly do that, guys. We want to see it get past that point, right? And then pull back and hold above it and make it a support level. So in my personal opinion, guys, that will happen at about $108. If we do end up breaking out of here, pulling back and holding above here, about $108 would be the range, the price point that I would personally want to get into Hershey. And from there, I'll be able to ride it to at least 110, which is a previous resistance. And this really offers only about 2% potential for profit. So if that's not really enticing to you, maybe go focus on some other stocks that have more margin for profit. But for me, guys, more conservative trader, this does look good in terms of my analysis and my personal plan and trading style. So HSY is definitely one that I'm going to be watching for the rest of this week and heading into next week. Another one worth watching, guys, is in my personal opinion right now is Facebook, and I'm going to talk about why right now. So take a look at the pattern that Facebook is on right now. We noticed over the past couple of weeks, obviously Facebook stock has been getting absolutely hammered. We know that Zuckerberg has been in the news nonstop. It's like the new Tesla almost, right? Remember how much Tesla was in the news a couple months back, 2, 3, 4 months back? They're still in the news a bunch, right? But, that's how Facebook is right now. They're in the news pretty much all the time. They're on a headlining news, article on Yahoo, all these different investing finance websites. But other than that, guys, in terms of a technical basis right now, Facebook is looking strong due to it breaking out of this resistance on the 50-day simple moving average on this 180-day 4-hour chart. So take a look at this, guys. We got rejected a bunch of times under this, indicator. We notice it here, all these different times. And now that we broke out of it, guys, I do see Facebook being able to run at least 5% more up to about $145 up to the 180 SMA, which has also been a resistance point in the past, like we can see here. But now that we're pushing out of this, guys, I do see a run up to here, very, very attainable. So Facebook, Hershey are the two stocks that I'm really pretty much watching heading into December, and they're both looking good on a technical perspective. Some other tech stocks, Apple's not looking too good right now. We're having a red day in terms of Apple, down about $1.11, down about 0.6%. If it did want to load, we can take a look at this chart. Yep, you see that, guys? We're getting rejected by the 50 SMA right now. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple took a dump right here, maybe back into the mid 170s, low 170s, even high 160s next week, and even after Christmas and this December holiday month, right? So Apple not really looking too good right now. If we're potentially able to break out of this 50 SMA resistance, this one could run up to the 180 SMA, possibly back around $190 to $200, but I don't personally see that happening with the state of the market that we're in right now, with a bunch of uncertainty, tariffs, the 10% tariff on iPhones in China, all these different things that are happening, the Fed rate meeting in December, Trump and the Chinese trade deal, all these things are, again, clouding investors' minds, and they're really scared right now to put money into Apple, all these large cap stocks. So I do see some further downside for this particular company. And, a bunch of other companies as well. But in the short term, guys, we could potentially see a movement either up or down. And, we're going to see what happens based on this 50 SMA resistance point right here. So in terms of some ETFs, guys, again, this is kind of repetitive for those of you guys that watch my videos all the time, but I really do mean this. We are in a point right now where the market is very, very volatile. So this gives us the opportunity to trade these market ETFs very, very often, even every single day. So that's why I talk about the same ones pretty much in every single video, because literally, guys, I trade the same things every single day. I'm not out here looking to find new stocks all the time. You guys should know this by now if you've been watching me for a while now, but I'm a big advocate of trading very similar ETFs and stocks all the time, and that's just what I've been doing. So, in terms of these ETFs, I'm watching TVIX very closely for a potential market pullback, which I do think, again, is very, very possible with all the cloudiness in investors' minds, traders' minds, with all this different news with Trump and all the stuff that we've been talking about recently. But, I do see some downside, which is why TVIX is on my watch list, as well as SQQQ, TQQQ, as well as UVXY could be potential plays if the market is able to continue this rally, continue to push up in price. But again, only time will tell what is going to end up happening here. So, in terms of other ETFs, we've been trading DGAS and UGAS all the time. LABD, LABU, these are at the top of my watch list as well. So just to sum this up, guys, heading into tomorrow, Facebook, Hershey, TVIXY, TQQQ, LABD, LABU. These are some that I'm going to be watching for tomorrow and heading into the rest of, this month and into December. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram as well as on Twitter, and join our Discord group chat as well as our Facebook group. All of those are linked down below in the description box. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great night. Peace out.